Chapter 1. 7 years before launch the laboratory. The diagnosis: I stand in my laboratory, surrounded by blinking monitors and test tubes. I am a scientist, a bioengineer, biomechanic, physicist. My brain is capable of incredible things. My hands know how to create life. But I am powerless before my daughter's disease. Emmy, my little girl, the only one I've lived my whole life for. Her illness. I still don't understand its nature. Doctors say the chance of survival is 1%, 1 in 100. But how can I accept these numbers? How can I give up when the desire to save her pulses inside me? Her skin begins to dry out, cracks like a lizard's. Every night she cries from pain. Every night I hear her screams, her whisper. It hurts. Daddy. I really wrote, and I can do nothing. No money, no knowledge, no experience, nothing. I look at her, and I'm afraid. Afraid that tomorrow she'll be even worse. That the disease will devour her body and soul. My wife no longer sleeps. She quit her job to care for Emmy. Every night we watch together as our daughter suffers. As life leaves her small body. We hold on to each other. But inside, emptiness, fear, despair. I cannot just pray. I cannot hope that someone else will solve this problem. I must do it myself. I am a scientist, and through years of research I understood. There exists an element that can save her, the only element capable of changing the course of the disease, that can give Emmy a chance at life. But this element doesn't exist on Earth. It cannot be synthesized, cannot be obtained. I've tried everything, my experiments, my formulas, my prototypes, all in vain. And suddenly, at some point, a thought pierced my mind. Theoretically, this element might exist somewhere out there, beyond our planet. No one has seen it, no one knows where it is, but, in theory, perhaps, it can be found in space. I sit among my instruments, and this thought won't leave me alone. If it's true, if a chance exists, however minuscule, I must try. I must find a way. I cannot do otherwise, because this is my daughter. My only daughter. And if I don't try, if I don't risk it, she will die. And I cannot let that happen. I am a scientist. I am a father. And I will not back down. The search for solutions. I began searching for answers. I spent hours at the computer, browsing websites of companies offering space travel. I tried to understand where, how, and is it even possible to buy a ticket to space, at least theoretically, at least for one expedition. But it was all useless. I created a community of scientists, sent letters to bioengineers, physicists, astrophysicists. I tried to clarify whether there was any chance at all of finding this element that connects atoms and molecules in such a way as to create a cure for Emmy. There was no answer. Not a single scientist in the world who would say, yes, it's possible. I reached out to people from all over the world. Europe, America, Russia, Germany. Everyone said the same thing: no, impossible. This element doesn't exist on the moon. It's not just floating in space. I needed completely different planets, possibly other worlds. I didn't understand how to accomplish this. I lost all thoughts. I didn't know where to start, where to search, how to get there. Inside me only fear pulsed, and at this moment, amid the endless darkness of my thoughts, an idea came to me. Technology is developing. The era of artificial intelligence is coming. Maybe neural networks can help. Maybe they'll tell me how to build a spaceship independently, alone, to travel where this element exists. I understood that I had no helpers. No one would help. I must do everything myself. And I don't need a kilogram of this element. I need just 1 gram. Just one. Barely anything. To save Emmy. In the evening, I shared this idea with Anna. I looked into her eyes and said, Anna, I can build a spaceship. I'll go for this element. I'll do everything to save Emmy. She fell silent, her eyes glistening with tears. I saw fear. I saw love. I saw helplessness. "John, I believe in you," she said quietly. "But I'm so afraid. Afraid that you won't come back. That I'll be left alone with Emmy." I couldn't blame her. I was just as afraid. I was afraid of losing everything I love. But inside me burned determination. I understood that otherwise Emmy will die. She's suffering. The disease is progressing. And doctors say that over time it could become contagious. Her friends might get infected. Even I might. We'll all die if we do nothing. I told myself, I'm just a bioengineer. I don't know how to build spaceships. I've never done it. But I have no choice. I must learn. I must build it. We decided we would change everything. Sell the expensive house, the cars, everything we have. Buy a simple house in Texas, with a large field where I could put a hangar. There I would study. There I would build. There I would spend days and nights figuring out how to make the impossible possible. I understood that the road would be long, full of mistakes and doubts, but I couldn't sit idle. I must fly. I must find this element. I must save Emmy. And even if I don't return, I'll be glad I tried, because the only thing that matters is her life, her chance, her smile. Sacrifice, selling everything. We sold everything, absolutely everything we had. Cars, apartments, jewelry, even clothes we'd worn for years. Everything went. Every item in the house ceased to be ours. I watched as they took away furniture, as they took books, old family photographs, and felt as if they were taking away our past. But I held on. For Emmy, for her future. We moved to Texas, bought a small wooden house on the outskirts. Creaky floors, simple kitchen, a roof that leaked after rain. But it didn't matter. The main thing, there was a plot of land nearby. A real field. I found it from an old man, tired of life. "Son, I don't need this land anymore. I'm retiring. Take it," he told me. I paid $10,000 for an acre of land. It was pennies, but for me it became the most expensive acquisition of my life. Because this is where I was going to build a hangar. And in the hangar, a ship. I dreamed of a large space where my ideas would be born, where metal would turn into wings. I imagined a hangar 5 kilometers long and 30 meters high. Simple, functional. A huge shell for my dream. I calculated. To build it would require $500,000. $500,000 for a man who had just sold all his property for a miserable wooden box called home. Inside, I understood. There was no time. Doctors said Emmy's disease was progressing. I needed to hurry. I found builders through the internet. For $10,000 they agreed to develop the design. Another step. Another small piece of the mosaic. I paid. I believed. Anna looked at me with anxious eyes. "Darling, start small. At least understand how a spaceship is built. Where to start? You're not an engineer in this field." I responded, almost shouting from despair. "No, Anna, I need workspace. There will be a hangar, there will be a ship. I'll figure out the rest." I was wrong. Terribly wrong. Despair and breakthrough, I started looking for instructions, advice, schemes. I wrote to neural networks, read articles, downloaded books, but all I found were just tips. General phrases. Start with planning. Study materials. Make blueprints. But where are the blueprints? Where are the formulas? Where's the real guide? Instead of answers, I got only words. And the more I read, the stronger I realized I was alone. No one would help. No one would give me a ready path. And at some point, I broke. I sat in the middle of the empty plot, surrounded by papers and drafts, and suddenly felt emptiness squeezing me. I fell to the ground, cried. Tears flowed down my face, and I couldn't stop. I beat the dirt with my fists, whispered, "Really? Will my little girl die? Am I really so helpless?" Such a coward. Why can't I do anything? I wanted to scream, but my voice broke. I wanted to tear the earth with my hands, but didn't have the strength. I felt broken, but even in this moment, a thought sounded inside. You're capable of more. You have no right to stop. I raised my head and looked at the field. At the place where my hangar should stand, where my path would begin, and I told myself, whatever happens, I'll find a way. Dream revelation, the 12th of August 2080. One evening, going to bed, I again replayed in my head everything that wouldn't let me rest. Emmy's illness, Anna, her eyes full of anxiety, the unfinished hangar, meaningless advice in books. All of this pressed down on me so that I felt cornered, but I knew. Many great discoveries in human history came precisely in dreams. Scientists talked about it. They fell asleep thinking about a problem, and at night their minds opened new doors. I decided to try. I lay down, clenching my fists, and right before sleep concentrated on only one thing. How to build a spaceship. How to find the element. How to save Emmy. And at 3 o'clock in the morning, on this anxious night, on this day, the 12th of August 2080, I had a revelation in my dream. I seemed to find myself inside my own brain, as if someone whispered to me, "You won't manage alone. You need intellect. New intellect. Artificial. One that won't just answer your questions, but will think, reason, create new ideas." I woke up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding, but I understood. This was a sign. I need artificial intelligence created by my own hands. Not the kind that answers with general phrases, but real one that will think, that can open space for me and help build a ship. But how? I wasn't a programmer. I wasn't a neural network specialist. I was a bioengineer. I knew how cells, genes, protein bonds work, but machines? Algorithms? This was foreign science to me. And yet I understood. I must go study. I must master artificial intelligence, just as I once mastered biology. Homos Brothers University, I started searching for where I could do this, and soon found a university considered one of the best in the world, Homos Brothers University. It was founded by two outstanding engineers, brothers who dedicated their lives to science and created an entire school of a new generation of researchers. They taught engineering, robotics, quantum physics, and most importantly, artificial intelligence. I didn't think long. I enrolled there, in an online program. The university was located not far from Texas, and when I needed to be present in person, I hitchhiked, sometimes standing on the highway for hours just to get there. Anna and I counted money again and again. Everything we had left could last a maximum of 7 years. In that time, I was obligated to find the element. In that time, I was obligated to cure Emmy. She was only 6 years old then. She was supposed to start school soon. But the probability of her sitting at a desk was almost zero. Doctors warned. In her condition, she couldn't endure even a few minutes in a classroom. She was too weak, too sick. And so, in 2080, I became a student at Homos University. I studied day and night. Lectures, lab work, articles, algorithms. Every time, opening my laptop and connecting to lectures, I repeated, "Emmy, for you. Breakthrough. AI. Based on animals." A year passed. During this year, my hangar grew. A metal frame rose above the field. Emmy's condition worsened. Her skin not only cracked, blood began to seep from these cracks. I realized, I no longer have the right to study slowly. I must accelerate. And then a thought was born in me. As a bioengineer, I knew. The brain is a collection of neurons, connections, impulses. I had studied animal brains for decades, and suddenly it dawned on me. What if I build artificial intelligence not as a machine, but as a brain? A real brain, only created by me. Connect the neural links of different living creatures, animals, humans, and unite them into one whole. Build a mind that would think not by algorithm, but like a living being. I wanted this intelligence to be based on instincts, on human thoughts, on empathy and logic simultaneously, so it could not only calculate formulas, but also feel, anticipate, create. Over time, I started working with animals, with the most diverse. From small rodents to birds, I took only a few milligrams of their blood, sometimes bone marrow samples. I didn't kill them. I only collected material. I understood. Animals live by instincts. Their reaction is instantaneous. And this was exactly what I needed for survival in the galaxy. In 2083, together with the Artificial Intelligence Department, we began an experiment. We created a model that learned from animal sounds. Not from texts, not from data, but from the simplest signals: barking, meowing, squeaking, chirping. After a few months, we got the first breakthroughs. The AI could distinguish. A dog barks because it wants to eat, or because it's lonely. In 2084, we went further. We gave the system millions of hours of recordings. And one day came when it spoke to us. We realized the model understands animals. All animals. And then a thought pierced me. Here it is, my chance. If I connect this with myself, I'll gain access to millennia of evolutionary wisdom. Golden neurons, I made a decision. Half of the entire budget, millions of dollars I would spend on buying servers. Entire rows. Huge, humming towers of memory and processors that I would place in my hangar. And then I would start developing not just AI. I would create an agent that would be integrated into my brain. It would become my second mind. I used a model built on the principles of animal behavior. Predator instincts, insectivore reflexes, survival strategies of birds and beasts. All of this I wove into a unified system. My agent wouldn't be closed in on itself. It would gain access to all new artificial intelligences being created in the world. And the key to integration was a mixture. I combined ultra blood of insectivores and predators, added to it the thinnest golden thread, conducting electricity as if it were a nerve impulse. Creating the threads proved almost impossible. First, I extracted from the blood of insectivorous animals special protein structures, actin filaments. Then I applied the method of atomic layer deposition. Under a microscope, layer by layer, I deposited gold crystals only a few atoms thick onto these protein threads. Something incredible resulted. A biological thread, flexible and living, inside which ran an ultra-thin golden channel. These channels worked as bioconductors. Thus appeared the first generation of threads. The thickness of each was half the width of a human hair. This technology received inside me the working name, golden neurons. I knew there was no turning back. The operation, I dialed Johnny's number, an old surgeon acquaintance. When I told him about Emmy's illness and my threads, he first laughed. "You're crazy," he said. "Rejection is the least of it. Your body could burn from inflammation, your brain stop at the moment of connection. You could die right on the operating table." But I didn't listen. I begged, convinced. "Johnny, I'm a father, and if I do nothing, Emmy will die. So let me be the one taking the risk." He was silent for a long time, and finally exhaled. "Okay, but you'll sign papers. Your death will be on your conscience, not mine." I agreed without thinking. 3 days later, we met in a small clinic basement. 3 threads so thin they could barely be seen with the naked eye lay in a glass capsule. They shimmered with golden light. Johnny looked at them and said quietly, "Honestly, I still think we're doing something diabolical." I lay down on the metal table. Cold penetrated my back. The lamplight hit straight in my eyes. The last thing I saw before anesthesia covered me with a dark ocean was Johnny's hands carefully taking the golden threads with a micro-instrument. Awakening, I opened my eyes and immediately understood the world around me was blurred. White spots, ringing in my ears. Someone was standing nearby. When my vision returned a little, I saw Anna. Her face was gaunt, eyes red from sleepless nights. Emmy was hiding behind her back. John. Anna's voice trembled. You were in a coma for almost 2 months. We thought we'd lost you. Cold fear passed through my body. But besides the tearing headache, I felt nothing, as if everything had been in vain. A week passed in emptiness. I lay at home, watched TV series, ate everything, and slept. Inside me ate away the thought. The threads were silent. I almost accepted it, but one day it dawned on me. They need an impulse. Electricity. Without thinking, I rushed to the hangar, tore cables from the wall, stripped them bare. 2 wires. Sparks. I grabbed them with both hands. The world exploded. 220 volts pierced my body. I felt my heart pounding wildly. And at that moment, everything went dark. I fell and plunged into darkness. 20 minutes of oblivion. When I opened my eyes on the cold hangar floor, the first sensation was terrible, as if something alive was crawling in my skull. Like thin worms sliding between the brain's convolutions. I almost screamed, but understood the threads had started working. The experiment came alive. New mind. To check, I grabbed a quantum mechanics book from the workbench, opened it in the middle. Formulas, symbols, equations. I stared at them, and at that moment, information flooded into me. In a fraction of a second, I knew everything. Every letter, every formula. I didn't just memorize them, I understood. The threads pulsed into the network, pulled out everything humanity knew about these formulas, and returned it directly to my consciousness. Instantly, my memory no longer belonged only to me. It became part of servers, part of the internet, part of something infinite. For the first time, I tasted the flavor of new mind. Now I could compose queries right in my head. Not words, not text images. I formed an idea, a question, and instantly received an answer. The first thing I asked my new mind was obvious: how to build a spaceship capable of surviving anywhere in the universe. The answer struck consciousness immediately. Build it from threads, the same as in your brain. Living ship. I froze. These threads were to become the ship's nervous system. They would react to temperature. If the hull fell under heat, over 200 to 500,000 degrees Celsius, the threads would instantly begin cooling the structure. If the ship found itself in absolute cold, they would generate heat. The ship would become alive. It would breathe the temperature of space. The bases should be structures, the thickness of a human finger, stretched throughout the entire hull. But the key was the conductor. Ordinary metal wouldn't withstand such loads. Then the answer flashed again. Diamond. Not natural, but artificially grown. From this moment, I no longer needed computers or books. Everything happened instantly in my head. Formulas came together by themselves. I lived in real time with my own universe of knowledge. Growing diamonds. In the morning, Anna pulled out a printout with numbers. $3.8 million remained in the account. I instantly made a decision. $1,800,000 I would spend on laboratory and diamond growing. For the ship, I needed not stones, but living crystals, ultra pure, ideal conductors of heat and energy. Into high-pressure chambers, I introduced a gas mixture and unleashed magnetic fields and terahertz waves upon it. Carbon atoms began to align. The main step was insane. I embedded organic molecules similar to neural circuits into the structure. Thus were born biodiamonds, crystals that could react to electrical impulses and even remember signals. Instead of 3 years, the process took 2 months. When I first held a finger-thick thread in my hands, a chill ran down my spine. It pulsed softly, as if alive. This wasn't material. This was a nerve of the future ship. Energy reactor. I needed a ship about the size of my kitchen. Minimum space, but enough for life. And then the question arose: what to fuel the ship with? The answer came by itself: there would be no fuel at all. Instead, I would create a reactor capable of generating such powerful energy that it would be converted into an oxygen stream, pushing the ship forward. First step, nuclear core. I chose a spherical chamber made of superconducting alloy and placed it in absolute vacuum. There, a magnetic field was created that would hold plasma. If it failed, the hangar would be blown apart in fractions of a second. Second step, energy injection. Several micro-lasers had to hit exactly one point, heating it to millions of degrees. This is where the threads came into play. They began to vibrate, resonate with energy, as if amplifying the process itself. Third step, cooling. I created nano-liquid with metallic inclusions. It didn't so much cool as distribute the load. It turned out that the threads themselves controlled heat, not letting the system overheat. Fourth step, control. No electronics could withstand such overloads. Therefore, I built in a neural network block, a simplified copy of my artificial intelligence. It reacted faster than I could think. When I first turned on the reactor, I held my hand on the control panel, and my heart was pounding. I supplied only 0.1% power. The vacuum sphere lit up. A blue core ignited inside. The threads began to glow, creating patterns. I wrote in the journal, system stable, field holding, threads reacting. I understood I had a star in my hands, miniature, but alive. Robot helpers, good thing I had nano, and large robots that helped me build the reactor and ship. Large robots with powerful arms made the frame, hauled alloys, and nanomachines like tiny tweezers installed elements in the reactor, so tiny that some of them were thinner than a human hair. In the hangar reigned the atmosphere of a huge workshop. The hum of furnaces, clouds of smoke, the smell of molten metal. The ship's frame grew literally before my eyes. I was finishing the oxygen system and internal ship compartments, a place for rest, water storage, and nutritional biosupplements. Thread testing. I connected one of the furnaces and slowly began heating a steel sample with my threads woven into it. Temperature rose. 200, 400, 800 degrees. At 1,000 degrees, the steel turned red, then began to melt. I waited for the threads to deform, but they remained intact. Moreover, they began to glow with a faint blue light. I couldn't believe my eyes and raised the temperature even higher. The steel spread out like water, but the threads still held as if the heat didn't touch them at all. It was incredible. They withstood what destroys any known material on Earth. Next, test cold. I opened a container with liquid nitrogen and dipped my hand into its icy abyss. The lines came alive again. Waves went through my body. The suit instantly equalized temperature. I pulled out my hand, and it was normal. System works. Materials purchase. Literally the next day, I gathered and went to the city. I understood. Ahead of me awaited a huge purchase. I ordered a whole truck. First steel. Took about 200 kilograms. Then aluminum and copper for internal elements. Besides that, silver and gold for high-precision contacts. Then I bought furnaces. I needed industrial furnaces capable of heating materials above 1,000 degrees. Besides metals and furnaces, I acquired a huge amount of tools and powerful magnets for creating magnetic fields inside the reactor. To speed up the process, I ordered special mechanical constructions, robot arms on wheels. Essentially, these were miniature mobile manipulators capable of lifting up to half a ton. They were to help me move heavy elements. On that day, when the movers unloaded all the equipment, I realized the project ceased being just blueprints. Now I had everything in my hands to start real construction. 3 days with family. At one point I caught myself thinking that I was too focused on the idea of saving Emmy. 6 years of my life burned in endless calculations. But I didn't know what could happen tomorrow. This thought hit like electricity. I realized, family is the most precious thing. Anna and I decided to take 3 days off and go as a whole family into nature. Friday, Saturday, Sunday barbecue, fresh fruit, river, sun. Simple human joy. I sat next to Emmy and whispered, "Don't worry. Daddy will fix everything. I'll make the medicine. You'll get better." We laughed, played volleyball and badminton. And then Emmy suddenly said she wanted a dog. The very next day we bought a huge dog. She named him Rex. When I saw her hugging him, how her eyes shone, I realized, all of this is worth any sacrifice. Flight test. I climbed inside, buckled up, turned on instruments, started oxygen. Inside it immediately became easy to breathe. 3, 2, 1. A scream tore from my lips along with tears. I roared and screamed from helplessness, from fear, from the fact that my family's life was at stake. The reactor came alive. Its hum was like the roar of a beast. And suddenly, the ship jerked upward. Sharp, swift. In fractions of a second, we soared 5 meters. Force threw me into the seat. My heart stopped. I immediately shut down the reactor and activated magnetic fields. Landing. The ship froze 20 inches from the ground, as if hovering in air, and only then gently touched the soil. Everything worked. I broke into tears, like a child. From pain, from fatigue, from happiness, and horror. Everything I built, everything that was destroying my body now for the first time, gave hope. Infection Tuesday, 3 p.m. I fall right in the hangar. My head is splitting, body burning, temperature 40. When I come to myself, I look at my hands, skin is cracking. Just like Emmy's, I'm infected. Now this isn't just a mission for my daughter, this is my own salvation. I have a week, maybe 2, then the disease will eat me from inside. The next day, Anna's brother arrives, Robert. He bursts into the house, sees my wounds. "What's wrong with you?" "Anna, he's contagious." I grab his shoulder. "Give me a week. Just a week. I'll find the cure." Robert takes out his phone. "Sorry, John. I have to protect my sister." He calls the police. An hour later, officers are in the hangar. They see servers, connection to government systems. The senior officer, Alex, says, "You have 48 hours until the arrest warrant. 2 days, the last week I work without sleep, take stimulants I synthesized myself. Robots help me assemble the last details. Threads are woven into the hull. The reactor synchronizes with the suit. I ran through the house, taking out everything that could be used. Sofas, appliances, metals, wires, TVs, satellite antennas. Everything that could be melted down and built into the ship. Nanorobots and I worked simultaneously. Large robots built the hull. Small nanorobot tweezers inserted chemical elements, connected threads, created the suit. I perfectly understood there was no more time. Need to urgently test the suit. It was almost ready, but I didn't wait. I pulled on the suit, fastened the mask, and ran straight into molten metal. Heat like the sun, like hell. Either the suit holds or I burn alive. I screamed from fear, from pain. At that moment, the threads flared, changed color, and the metal around me began to solidify right before my eyes. I managed to break free, alive. I realized, the suit is ready. Magnetic field test. I built a giant slingshot. Robots helped stretch the cord, powerful enough to accelerate an 80-kilogram boulder to 100 kilometers per hour. The stone soared into the air and flew straight at the hull. I thought, that's it, the end. Now there'll be a dent in the ship. But a second before impact, the stone froze, as if it hit an invisible wall and fell down. The magnetic field worked. Experiment succeeded. I stood, breathing heavily, and understood. Suit, reactors, protection, everything's ready. I'm almost ready to fly, but little time remained. The disease burned inside. Temperature rose to 40, skin cracked and bled, hair fell out. Morning of the 7th day, I woke up from a wet bed. Turning, I saw ichor flowing from Anna's wounds. My heart beat faster. I returned to the house in tears and screamed, "Anna, wake up! I'm a failure. How could I infect you?" Anna woke up, her eyes filled with tears. "Juun, what do we do now?" I understood that the only right step was to send Anna and Emmy to the hospital. Insurance for 3 years would cover all expenses, and in that time I must find the chemical element and return. Anna was supposed to fake my death so doctors and police wouldn't search for me. This is exactly the scheme we pulled off in a few days through our lawyer. The last evening. This evening we arranged a small family celebration by candlelight. Perhaps this was the last day we were together. We laughed, played board games, shared memories. I told Emmy everything I had to go through. Emmy started crying. "Daddy, take us with you. I want to be with you." "It's too dangerous, sweetheart," I said, hugging her tightly. "I don't know what might happen to us, but I'll definitely come back. Promise you'll wait for me with Mom." "We promise." "Daddy," Emmy said. "Anna, Emmy," I continued quietly. "Tomorrow night, I'm flying for our salvation. Promise you'll call an ambulance in the afternoon. It's dangerous on the territory. I don't know how the reactor will behave under heavy load." "Yes, John. I'll call the doctors in the afternoon," Anna answered calmly. "Excellent, my girls. Now let's go rest." "Good night, Emmy." We hugged, and I left with Anna to our room, feeling simultaneously fear and determination. Launch, 7th day. Dawn, I put on the suit. It hugs my body like a second skin. The threads inside pulse alive. Anna and Emmy stand by the house. Rex, our dog, circles nearby. Emmy cries, "Daddy, don't leave." I kneel down, take her face in my palms. "Listen to me. I'll fly to where the stars live. I'll find the magic medicine. And when I return, we'll play again. You'll go to school. You'll have friends. You'll laugh." She hugs me with all her might. Anna approaches last. We stand, pressed against each other. "I love you," she whispers. "And I love you. Call an ambulance in an hour. They'll take you to the hospital. Insurance for 3 years. I'll return earlier." I kiss her. Long. As if for the last time. Then I turn to the ship. The ship small, size of a minivan. Silver hull, entwined with golden threads. In the center reactor, heart. I climb inside, tight. Seat, instruments, boxes with food and water. Behind oxygen cylinders, I close the hatch. In the porthole I see Anna. She waves, Emmy beside her, both crying. I place my hand on the glass. "For you." I press the launch button. Launch, the reactor roars. Sound like thunder. The hangar shakes. Earth under the ship melts from heat. Magnetic fields engage. Ship trembles. I look at instruments. Energy building, 100%. 120. 150. 3. 2. 1. Impact. I'm pressed into the seat. Heart stops. World outside blurs. We lift off. In space, sky rushes past. Blue becomes dark blue. Dark blue black. Speed 10,000 kilometers per hour. 20. 50. I look back. In the porthole Earth. Small blue ball. Somewhere there, Anna holds Emmy's hand, looking at the sky. I touch the glass. I'll return. I promise. Ship gains altitude. Atmosphere stays behind. Stars flash around thousands. Millions. Reactor hums evenly. Threads in my brain pulse in rhythm. I feel the ship. It's part of me. Ahead, infinity. Black holes. Distant galaxies. Planets untouched by human foot. Somewhere out there, the element. 1 gram. 1 chance. I set the course. First point, nebula in Orion constellation. There, by my calculations, might be a planet with the needed chemical composition. Distance 1,000 light-years. Travel time, 6 months. I lie in the seat, close my eyes. Threads in brain begin slowing metabolism. Artificial sleep. This way, I can conserve oxygen. Last thought before falling into darkness. Emmy, I love you. Ship races through space. Small silver point. Inside it, scientist, father, madman, a man who challenged the universe.